What's up, everyone? Welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 25. That's right, we're 1/4 of the way to 100, guys. This, for anyone that doesn't know, is your weekly podcast all about Xbox. If you like that, make sure to subscribe to our channel and drop us a like. For our audio listeners, the few of you that are out there, make sure to follow us on your platform and drop us a review over on Apple so we can start growing the channel. We got a few reviews. I'd like to see a few more if you guys could just go over and just drop those reviews for us. I'm your host, Kevin, as always. I'm joined this week. Garrett is gone, but we're joined by Tom and Aman. How you guys doing?
Good.
Not too bad.
And we have a special guest for our fourth chair this week with Garrett's absence. We're going to call her Luca because that's what she prefers. You may know her from her YouTube channel, The Ashton Luca. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. But I'm going to give her the floor and let you tell them about it. So why don't you give everyone a little plug about your channel?
Hi, my name is Luca. I live on the second floor, because that's a song. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to talk gaming and Xbox today. So I do have my own channel. I make some videos here and there. We have a lot of fun over on my channel. It's mostly just jokes and having a good time with the fellers, But it's cool to do a pre-recorded show. I haven't done one of these in about 3 to 4 years. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so
We're behind the times, guys.
You're behind the times. Yeah. Live shows are all the rage. We just can't record, or we got to record ahead of time because of scheduling. But thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. We checked out your stuff. Enjoy. I know Aman was the one that contacted you, and obviously he's a fan. So we're glad to get you on.
That's awesome. Well, you guys can come through on the Scum channel anytime you'd like.
The Scum channel.
Yes.
All right. Well, as is per usual here on Project XTalk, we start every week by going around the room and asking one question, and that question is, "What you playing?" So I'm gonna give you the honors, Luca. What you playing?
Okay, so I've been playing some Destiny 2. I used to be a bit of a Destiny fiend, and I had to wean myself off of it. Let me tell you, and it took a while, but I'm finally free. Other than that, I've been playing Persona 5 Strikers. And then I've mostly just been downloading games on my PC I'm not going to play, honestly. I just want to see what they look like. I'm going to start playing Outriders as soon as I get back from the gym today. Because that's something I've been looking forward to. Hashtag Gamepass is the best,
That's right. I'm glad to hear you're playing Persona 5 Strikers because that's a game on my list. I'm about 13 hours in. How are you liking it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's very surprising. I didn't expect it to be so story focused. I'm a huge fan of Persona 5. I have 228 hours in the game. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you doing in all of those 200 hours? Because I got the platinum in 87.
So it was the first time I played a Persona game. I had no idea what to expect. I finished my first playthrough in about 113 hours. And then the other 100 plus are just for me replaying it over and over and over again. So
you really like it. Have you played Persona 4 Golden?
I have not, but man, I was playing the game with one of my best friends and my co-host for my podcast. We were playing it together. We'd be on the phone while we were playing it on the PlayStation 4 and just talking about it. And he actually went out and bought a PlayStation Vita to play Persona 4 Golden. Wow. And I was just kind of all day, you just got done playing this really long RPG. Are you sure you want to, invest a lot of time into another one? He's like, no, Luca, I got this. I'm like, all right. So he played it. I did not play it. I don't have a Vita. I mean,
it's on Steam.
Yeah, I know it's on Steam. I just got my PC 2 weeks ago. So
gotcha. Yeah, I played it on Steam over the summer. Highly recommend. If you like 5, you'll like 4. It's like 5, but with a little less quality of life features. But the characters are what you play Persona 4. So you definitely, I think you'll enjoy that. I love 4. I've spent more time in 4 than 5, I think.
Very, very cool. Wow. Yeah, great franchise.
Yeah. So, Tom, what you playing?
I haven't gamed too much this week, honestly. But I went through the Outriders demo again, and I've beat it with. I maxed out every single class you can get so far, just to try to figure out which one I want to go for. When I get off this podcast, I'm going to immediately play this. That's pretty much it. Besides that, I also wanted to do a little bit of achievement hunting. So I pulled out my old 360, got me a copy of Hannah Montana, the movie, the game, and knocked out a quick 1,000 achievement score.
I thought you were joking for a minute there, but now I think you're serious.
No, that's my little April Fool's thing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. That makes it better. Aman, what you playing? I've seen you on Xbox a little bit more this week.
Yeah. So my spring break started, so I've been playing a lot more. I downloaded Outriders today. I played it. I got stuck on the first boss, then I stopped playing it. And then now I'm playing Dishonored. I was just playing Dishonored before we started, and yeah, good game so far.
Yeah, I was playing Prey. I got halfway through it and decided this is frustratingly difficult. I'm gonna play something else. So I've dropped Prey. I don't know if I will return. Probably not. The game's great. I just don't have the patience to continuously die over and over and over and over and feel like I don't have the resources necessary to keep going. I've been playing Persona.
Is there a difficulty option?
Yeah, I put it on easy. It's still hard. It's still hard. I don't know if I'm doing something fundamentally wrong or like it's just hard. Persona 5 Strikers we already talked about, loving it, great. And then I've been playing this game I want to talk about, Octopath Traveler. You might have heard of it, little Switch title that just came out.
That's on my list here.
Oh, it's fantastic. If you like old school JRPGs, this is one. Me and all my friends, we all started playing it, and now we just get an Xbox Live Party chats and sit there and talk.
If it's old school RPG, I might not like it then.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta like the classics and the good ones, like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's a good time. I highly recommend it. There's a few stories I don't care about, but the gameplay is really fun, and I'm liking that a lot. And then, like everyone else has said, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to play Outriders with two of my friends. So I'm really excited for Outriders. It looks so good. Everyone's posting about it on social media.
It looks really good. It looks much better than the demo.
Yeah. Have you had any issues with it in your hour of playing? Great.
Nothing. It's just the first boss was really hard. That's it.
That's what I like to hear.
I mean, if you need someone to play with,
yeah. I need someone to play with.
I beat it 4 times now, that one boss. So I don't know why you struggled with it. It was real easy.
The electric dude, it was kind of hard. No, what class did you take? I took Trickster.
I mean, I beat it with all of them, but I'm gonna main the Technomancer more than likely because he's like a sniper based and also like a better healer than the rest of them. So I might focus that.
I'm gonna play Devastator.
Tanky.
Yeah, you like tanks. You like tanks, don't you?
What are you playing, Luca, on Outriders? What class are you gonna do?
So I played the demo and maxed out my Pyromancer, my Trickster, my Devastator on my PlayStation 5. I really liked it, but I am now going to be playing it on Xbox, and I didn't bother, trying to max out those characters. I was just like, there's just no way. So I was at first going to do the Devastator, but I think I'm going to do the Pyromancer. I think that will be more fun for me.
Yeah, that's what my brother's going to do. It's like the magic class. He gets to use all the fire, so fun times. I can certainly see that. Well, let's get through the podcast so we can all go play games. We'll go right into the news and rumor roundup, and obviously, as usual, feel free to jump in after I read the story with your thoughts. So, story number 1 is actually we're going to break down the Indie Showcase. So, Xbox had their first event of 2021 last Friday, March 26th. We're recording this Thursday, April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. Idea Xbox held the Indie Showcase, highlighted over 60 games, 20 of which will launch day 1 on Xbox Gamepass. So the show was nearly 4 hours. Before we get to talking about any of the games, I want to know, did you guys watch it, and did you like this format?
No, I didn't like the format. The pacing
It
was just so
was
slow.
so long.
Like they could have done that in 1.5 hours. They didn't need 4 hours for it.
Yeah, I didn't need the interviews for like half of these games. Trailers is enough.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it because I never watch any of these shows because they're usually very boring for me. And I was just like, there's just no way. After the Crackdown 3 situation all those years ago, I'm just like, never again am I ever gonna watch one of these shows. So I didn't bother to watch it. Microsoft did tell us what it was gonna be, so anyone who decided to watch it, you knew what you were in for. So
I knew.
Yeah, go ahead.
I knew it was an indie showcase. I did not know it was the format was 4 hours long with like developer interviews. I thought it was going to be like a hour quick fire of indie trailer.
Yeah, I thought like the one they had May last year. I thought it was going to be something like that. That wasn't too bad. It got a lot of hate, but I kind of enjoyed that show. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah. So, Luca, have you seen any games from it that or you were interested in? Because that's what we're gonna go talk about.
No, I didn't look at any of them.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna show off a handful of games, so maybe you'll see something that you like here. So I asked everyone on the podcast to pick a few games to highlight that we thought were good out of the showcase. If you want the full list, you can go to the Xbox channel and look up those trailers. But we don't have time to go over 4 hours worth of games. So we're going to start with my list, and I'm going to share my screen here. So audio listeners, apologies, you're not going to be able to see this. But for everyone watching on YouTube, you're about to see some trailers. I'm going to keep the audio off so we don't get copyright claimed. But 12 minutes. Where were we? Actually, besides my lagging issues, actual game. Any thoughts on the game?
Well, he'll have to send all the links again. So it's really like that's just too much effort at this point. But the game, I think it looks good. I love like time paradoxes. So the fact that you have to keep reliving that to try to figure out what happened, I'm sure it's going to be like really exciting as you see like the different clues progress while your time runs out. It's definitely one of the more interesting games. I was excited when I saw it here. I was excited when I saw it last year. This is definitely one of the top indie games I have my eye out on Xbox so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the cast, like, how did they manage to get like that cast for an indie game? Those are Hollywood A-list actors starring in some of the biggest movies out there. So
what do you mean? That's Gamepass money.
It's not even coming to Gamepass, I don't think.
Is it not?
I don't think so.
I figured since it was an exclusive, it would be an Xbox game, like an Xbox Game Pass game.
It wasn't on the list of ones they announced as coming to Game Pass, so I think it's just a standalone title. It's by Annapurna, so Annapurna publishes like, big games. Big games.
William Dafoe really liked the concept and he jumped on board. And he brought his friend along. That's all that happened.
All right, that's it for my list. Those are the three that stood out for me. Tom, I wanted to show them, but we're having some issues. So
yeah.
Why don't you go through your list? Tell us about the following. Alchemic Cutie.
Okay, so Alchemic Cutie, it had really like a lot of Stardew Valley vibes, but mixed with like an old school JRPG. It just looks really good. I wish I could show you guys that. But apart from that, the trailer didn't really show too much about it. It's just really the concept of, farming, JRPG, old school 2D, real colorful game. Like there's nothing that is not pleasing to me for me to watch with my eyes. Like I can't wait for this one to come out. And even my next game on the list, which is the only other one, because I guess the other game I mentioned wasn't even on the showcase. Craftopia is another one. That one was a 3D factory automation JRPG farming art game. I guess it had so much. Have you guys ever played a game like have you ever played Factorio on PC by any chance on Steam?
I know what it is. I haven't played it. I know what it is though.
Okay. That's why I'm just super interested in it. I love like watching numbers go up and up and up and up until like, I don't know. I just find that satisfying. and the fact that you get to like have automation just makes it so much sweeter in this game. I can't wait to farm cows and throw them into like what was it, like a cauldron they did in the trailer?
Yeah, I don't understand what. I don't really get the farming games like Stardew Valley and all those like.
Come on! Farming games is just so fun and relaxing.
I don't need to be relaxed. I'm not looking to take a nap while I play my game. You know.
I'm upset now.
We had another one on the list, I think.
Last Oasis.
Last Oasis, and Garrett wanted us to shout this one out.
Yeah, so this one I have it on my wish list on the Xbox right now because I saw it's on the preview. Last Oasis is like a survival, purely PvP focused game where you pretty much build up land ships. It's like the coolest thing ever. My mindset is Sea of Thieves, but you actually build the ship, and then you don't need water because you just go through the sand instead because fuck the water and just kill people. I mean, I don't see what the appeal wouldn't be on this one. If you've ever played games like Ark or Conan Exiles, I think this one you'll be right at home with it. Yeah.
Well, it's not my type of game. I know Garrett's been loving it. I see him on Xbox every night playing it right now.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's why he's not here. Whatever his excuse was of why he didn't show up to the podcast today, is because he's really playing Last Oasis. He's hidden offline, and he'll come back in 30 minutes.
Anniversary with girlfriend. Yeah. Okay, buddy. All right. I think we'll end the indie showcase after the story didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. We'll move on to a little something more Xbox related. Get Luca a little more involved, hopefully, with some of her opinions. We'll go to story number. We'll go to this story. Story number 2. Backwards compatibility comes to the cloud. Xbox Wire editor Will Tuttle has announced that Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members can now play 16 original Xbox and Xbox 360 games via cloud streaming on Android phones and tablets. The following games are now able to be streamed, 3 of which have touch controls: Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Double Dragon Neon, Fable 2, Fallout New Vegas, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War Judgment, Jetpack Refueled, Cameo, Perfect Dark 0, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Viva Pinata, and Viva Pinata TIP. Now, Luca, you've been quiet. We've been talking about indie games. What is are you a big backwards compatible fan?
I love back
games
compat.
Mobily help you?
Yeah. I love back compat, but I don't play games mobily. When I'm out and about, I'm out and about. I don't stop and play on any other device other than my systems. But can you guys hear the cops?
No.
Right, so yeah, anyway.
Swatting.
Yeah, but I think this is pretty cool. I'm a big component of backwards compatibility, and I really like that Microsoft is really going through the effort to make sure that there's game preservation and make sure that, this history continues to thrive, and there's people who will go back and play some of these titles. I've played Fallout New Vegas, and let me tell you, I'm probably never going to go back to that series unless it's on PC, because it's pretty rough. I mean, it's pretty rough on PC too, but there's mods to fix it. You know what I mean? But I just think this is cool. I think everything that Xbox is doing right now is really cool. I think they're heading in the right direction when it comes to a lot of things. And once these games start rolling out from their new studios, it's just going to be hit after hit after hit, in the sense that they are doing a lot right and they are thriving, in my opinion, So I think this is cool. I'm happy that there's positive Xbox news finally after all of these years. And as long as they don't do anything stupid, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll do something stupid.
Yeah.
I hope not. Tom, Aman, I want your thoughts before I ask a question, bring up a point. So, what do you guys think about this? Something you're interested in?
Yeah, I'm not gonna game on the go. Not yet. I tried it 4G works, I guess. Yo, Mom, can you mute yourself real quick? 4G works, but it's kind of laggy regardless. Maybe when I like switch to the iPhone 12 and I get 5G here, maybe I'll try it. Even then, I still probably won't because I don't like playing mobile games. Besides, like, I guess Candy Crush was a thing a couple of years ago that everyone was playing. So, like, eventually even I got onto that. But mobile games are just, I don't know. The controls are just so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
granted, you can put your Xbox controller on it and make it better.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring that up, but I'm not a play on the go type of guy either. Like I have a Switch, but it just sits in its dock. It hasn't left its dock in years. I really don't understand all the commercials I see for Switch, like out on rooftops playing Switch with their friends. Like if I'm out, I'm not playing video games. Like that's the whole point of me going out of the home. But my point is we see Microsoft adding these backwards compatibility titles, but then expanding like the ways you can play them. And this is in stark contrast, and I think we touched on this last week, to what we see PlayStation and Nintendo doing, where PlayStation just is closing down the Vita, PS3, PSP stores just this week was officially confirmed. I know we talked about that rumor last week. And then Nintendo, where they have today, literally, the 3D All-Star Collection gone, the 35th Mario anniversary gone. So they have this limited time backwards compatible titles that they just won't give to their fan base, and I just don't really see a reason why
What if
one company
Tom,
really push this and the other two seem so opposed to it.
Well, he'll have to send all the.
All right.
I will never understand it. And what Nintendo's doing is the most stupidest thing. Why would you release a timed game and then just remove it from your store? You're creating a false like market, pretty much. Just keep it on. Like everyone, we want to play those games anyways. Like Mario Sunshine's like easily like my top 3 Mario games. And I forgot that it was going to be the last day today, so I might have to buy it now.
I think it's gone already off the store.
Oh, then you know what? I'm gonna have to buy a Switch that has it on there loaded, and it's gonna be a jacked up price, or the physical copy. But
physical copy should be in the stores for like another week or so while they get rid of their backlog of them.
I just, I don't see why Nintendo would care about maintaining any of these games when they can just repackage it, do a shoddy remaster, and then sell it for $60 and get their fans to buy it. So there's that. Man, they're so scummy, man. And it's like no one ever says anything about it.
Doesn't that infuriate you though? Like
yeah,
I love Nintendo, but I don't buy their remaster bullshit. Like
yeah, no, it's very annoying and it's very irritating. They don't get nearly as much as the backlash as PlayStation or Xbox do for literally anything. They just do a lot of really odd things and really very anti-consumer moves, and they continue to thrive. Okay, they're just selling out the games left and right. People are just like, yes, feed me bullshit. I love it. I love it so much. I'll never understand it. I'll never get it, man. But whatever. If they like it, I love it as long as they're happy. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know at this point Nintendo doesn't really care if their fan base is happy. They're just because they sell. They sell games, and while we see Xbox has the opposite thing where they need their fans to be happy. After the Xbox One generation, which we all agree was not great, they need their fans to be happy, and that's why they've made these pro-consumer moves, backwards compatibility being a big one, to try to recoup that goodwill from the fans.
And then with the PS Vita shutting down, like the store, I actually, that's one of my more interesting consoles. I love my Vita, and apparently they were still making games on that thing. I didn't even know that there was still devs making games on that, and I was like, what the heck? But it's just a shame that still there's a lot of exclusives on there that there's not going to port anywhere else, or if they are, they better freaking announce it. But I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah. Fun fact about the Vita, they were still selling developers Vita dev kits like a few weeks ago. knowing that they were about to shut the stores down. They made developers pay for these dev kits.
That's scummy. That's a dick move.
Yeah. Wow. Backwards compatibility, great. We all love it. Moving to another story. Story number 4. The game that refuses to die, despite Amon wishing it would continue to live. Cyberpunk. Pulling from Tom Ivan at Video Game Chronicles, CD Projekt has canceled its standalone AAA Cyberpunk multiplayer game. President and CEO Adam Kicinski. Regarding online, we are changing our approach, so we want to have online in our future games, definitely, but step by step. So we are working on specific features enhancing our single-player games, but we are not working on releasing the next game as a big online experience. So we will be enhancing our single-player games with online experiences. So guys, from the sounds of it, we're not getting a standalone game, but they're going to go and add multiplayer into single-player games like Cyberpunk. And now, I don't care for either of those games, so this doesn't really affect me. I'm gonna ask Amon over there because we all know he loves Cyberpunk, and maybe Luca loves Cyberpunk. I don't know. Maybe she loves The Witcher. Feel free to jump in here. Do you guys want multiplayer in those games?
I mean, you don't think that the Cyberpunk worlds would work well with multiplayer though? Like, I get having a fully fleshed out single player experience, but just like separately from that, like what they've done with GTA Online in the beginning, at least it was good. In the beginning, it was okay, and then it just became like progressively shittier as time went on.
Yeah, I think that CDPR should focus on not releasing broken, buggy bullshit products to their consumers. I think they should focus on that. They're talking about adding multiplayer components to their future titles, and it's just kind of like, why don't you focus on releasing a game that's not broken first? The Witcher 3, not yet. The Witcher 3 launched, and it had a lot of bugs. Now, I didn't play it back then. I waited a year, but it launched super buggy. No one noticed because all they have worked on and all they released were The Witcher, which was on PC, which is also to its core technically unsound. And then they released The Witcher 2, which also has a ton of problems, okay? Because that gameplay for The Witcher 2 is terrible, all right?
Go off.
That being said, I'm a huge Witcher 3 fan. I've beat that game 3 times, 4 times, something around that number. And so I was one of the ones who was super hyped for Cyberpunk because they promised us interesting stories, just expansive character development, all that stuff, only for it to be a huge, massive lie. I don't believe anything that Marcina Chinsky or Adam Badowski or any of them say. They're all lying executives who lie, all right? Anything that comes out of their mouth, I just don't want to hear it. Did you see that list of bug fixes?
Yeah.
That list had over 100 fixes for bugs. That game wasn't even close to being finished when they released it. And then they were like, oh, it works surprisingly well on the last gen systems. Like, they're just working on a multiplayer component anymore, or a standalone multiplayer component, because they were going to fill it with microtransactions and their fans were going to eat it up because it was like, no, Luca. CDPR can do no wrong. Yes, they're screwing us over and lying to us, but it's CDPR, CD Projekt gods. There's just no way. And now it's like, oh, well, we can't release this this standalone anymore because it was going to be filled with microtransactions because we're greedy fucks, okay? And that's all we cared about was the money. But since we can't get any money from people anymore because we have destroyed the trust in our consumer base, we're just going to cancel it and then have plans for it later on for our future games so we can make more money. Because somehow that's the focus. I don't even understand why he's coming out even saying anything. Like, keep your mouth shut. Even though I put 50 hours in Cyberpunk 2077. 50 hours. I enjoyed my time with the game, okay? But fundamentally, to its core, that game has a lot of problems. and there's nothing they can do to fix it because they are core problems. All right. So it's like, I understand, I get it. Like, it's their first foray into a game of this kind. The Witcher 1 compared to The Witcher 3, vastly different. The Witcher 3 is vastly different. Very amazing in comparison. So maybe Cyberpunk 2079 will be better, maybe. But I just don't, CD Projekt needs to just stop coming out and talking to any of us. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything from them. I'm sick. So go ahead, Aman.
After all that, yeah. In case you were wondering, Aman said Cyberpunk was his game of the year, and I think he said one of the best RPGs ever. If I remember correctly, he said it was better than Final Fantasy VII. But go off. Oh my god.
Did you just say minor bugs? Are you playing on PC? Oh, you're playing on Series X. Minor bugs, huh? Interesting.
I will never.
You personally haven't faced any game-breaking bugs? I personally haven't faced any game-breaking bugs. But I would never come out and say, no, this game isn't broken to its core. Never. Because it is. Yes, it is. No, 100% it is. Just because you haven't experienced issues doesn't mean it's not broken. That's not true.
PS5?
If
It's
it
not
wasn't,
in the store.
It's not. Listen, exactly what he said. If it didn't have problems, Sony wouldn't have taken it from the store. It's still not back in the store. It's been months. Did you see the list?
102
Did you
days.
see the list? Did you see the list? It's not that big of a deal. They're minor bugs. Did you see the list? You said there weren't that many bugs. So which one is it? Listen, it's okay to love the game. There's nothing wrong with that. But this game is fundamentally, to its core, broken. Yes, it is. You are denying reality. Yes, you are. You sound like some of those PC guys who are like, oh, the game runs perfectly well in my 3080, so there's... Like, come on, man. The game clearly has issues. Their government got involved. They're like, you guys were lying and misleading your communities. Why would their government get involved if it wasn't a big thing? Okay. It's okay. We'll just have to listen. We can just agree to disagree. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Oh, that may have been the best moment of this podcast history. Thank you, Luca.
Nothing but love,
That was amazing. Aman, completely fine to love the game. We all know you love the game. We're clearly just teasing you. But it did have a lot of bugs. I was more interested about the multiplayer though. Like, do you Witcher multiplayer? Like, no.
The Witcher has a very interesting and expansive world, but I'm not interested in any multiplayer elements because they can't even show me that they can release a non-broken single-player game. So I think they should stick to what they're good at, which is releasing games buggy on day one. Okay. And, really good stories. They should stick with that and maybe perfect it a little bit. They're still a very young development studio. And maybe in a couple years, they can do some multiplayer stuff. I admire them for wanting to try new things. And maybe the newest thing they'll try is releasing games that work. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Any closing thoughts, gentlemen, on the CD project?
No, it's broken.
All right. We're going to move to a game that wasn't broken, and a game I actually really enjoyed. And I know Tom enjoyed it as well because we did a review on it. We're going to talk about Bloober Team. And Bloober Team has backed away from acquisition talks in Video Games Chronicle again. They report Bloober Team, the developer behind Xbox Series X and S exclusive The Medium, has decided not to go through with acquisition or merger, reportedly pulling out because they didn't want any potential acquisition to affect future game plans. Quote, the company has decided not to continue discussions with potential financial and industry investors interested in acquiring a majority stake due to the high risk of losing its overriding strategic objectives. Also states they're in a good financial situation to make investments aimed in increasing. This one's a little more business focused, but as someone that loved The Medium, I think this is great. I don't want someone coming in. I said,
no multiplayer.
Cool,
Please.
Microsoft taking them
Single
over,
players
but Microsoft lets studios do whatever they want. So, but I would really hate to see someone take over Bloober Team and then tell them how they have to make their games, because their games are very specific. They fill a certain niche that I enjoy, and I would like them to continue evolving in that niche. We saw The Medium. They added some stuff that wasn't in their previous games. It wasn't really scary, but the elements, I can see them evolving game upon game. So I'm excited to see that evolution, and I don't want anything to ruin that.
I agree. I don't think anyone should acquire them at this point. I feel like they're one of the best horror game developers out there currently, and they really wouldn't want to limit themselves, especially like in the VR market space. Sony at this point is the only one that has VR. I mean, they probably shouldn't be locked on anywhere. And speaking of which, when the hell's Xbox getting VR? Are we ever going to get VR? Like, when are we getting a headset?
Maybe. Listen, I think if anything, they're gonna partner with a third party. They do their best work when they are partnering with other people. So
Yeah, just let me use an HTC Vive or something. I don't care. It works.
Luca, any thoughts on Bloober? Did you like The Medium?
I have no interest in it myself.
Okay.
But if people enjoyed it, that's awesome. And good for them. They should maintain their independence and continue to make games the way that they want to make them, especially if they are in a place where they feel like they are financially stable. So
No, they said they're working on a famous IP. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next. Glad they're not getting acquired. So we'll move on to our last story, and it's actually a rumor, as much as a rumor as it can be. But we're pulling from our friends over at Season Gaming. Shout out to you, Ains, on the podcast a few weeks ago. They have a new podcast with our friend Luke Lore and Mr. Badbit from the PlayStation Trophy Room, Cast Co-op. Go check that out if you haven't, guys. But our friends over there at those podcasts. So Season Gaming reports that Jeff Grubb at Games Beat, in a live stream yesterday, Jeff Grubb came out and said he's heard that one of the games Epic is funding with Remedy is Alan Wake 2, sending the internet mild blaze. Mild as much as Alan Wake 2 can really get you excited. It gets me excited. I'm excited because I loved Control. I liked the original Alan Wake, and I think Remedy is now in a position where they can make a really good sequel.
But what do we think will come out of this? I mean, if it's epic, is it, would we still expect Alan Wake 2 to come, maybe just like be like an Epic Game Store exclusive on PC, if that's their play, right? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Alan Wake 2. I thought the story ended up pretty nicely, and American Nightmare was okay. But I personally would rather see Remedy just continue on with like story. Like all of these are like interconnected in a way. Like from Max Payne onward, it's crazy, and I want to see where to keep going. If that means going back to Alan Wake 2.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't scare me too much.
Okay.
The first one scared me a little bit.
I said it was the best RPG in the last
You were
5
like
years.
you were a kid.
Yeah,
Right? Like
because
you
it was.
were a lot younger.
We didn't really have.
I was like
great
probably like
RPGs.
16,
Last great
15,
RPG
right?
we had was Witcher 3.
High school age.
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Amon,
Good
Alan
RPG,
Wake
not
before
the
your
best.
time.
Meh, good RPG.
I don't know if this
It's before
doesn't-
mine too.
Cyberpunk was
Oh.
the greatest RPGs. Not greatest RPGs of all time, but the greatest RPGs of last decade, I can say maybe.
It's on Game Pass.
The story was really good. I
guys
really
go check
enjoyed
it
it.
out.
I didn't face many bugs or many issues. I disagree with you, Luca, when
great.
you said the game is
Yeah, I think it would be
broken in
great.
core. I don't really
Luca,
think
you said
so,
it was
'cause
before
it's
your
mainly
time,
just
so
minor bugs, which can
I'm
be
not
fixed.
sure
A CD
what it
project
would
have
mean
acquired
to answer your
a new
question,
studio,
Tom.
Digital
I would imagine it means Epic Game Store
Yeah.
exclusivity for PC.
I'm
I
playing
don't
on Series
think they
X.
would limit it on consoles. It would
you're
most
playing on
likely
Series
just
X.
be a
Minor
multi-plat
bugs,
like
huh?
Yeah,
Control
minor
was.
bugs. I
Yeah.
haven't faced any game-breaking
Which I'm
bugs
fine
as
with.
people
You
say there
I
is.
we'll see.
Yeah,
It's-
personally.
I think Epic is doing some good stuff. I gave them a lot of
Exactly.
shit because I don't like Fortnite.
No,
But in terms of actually like
Yeah, it's
for
not-
other
it's not
developers,
broken
like
to its core,
they
'cause
just
it's
acquired
not.
Mediatonic. I think that's a great move. They're funding Remedy stuff, so I think they're really good for the gaming industry. Even though if I don't like their main property.
It might be broken, but only on last-gen consoles, because it has.
Yes,
There aren't many game-breaking bugs on the Xbox Series X, PS5, and PC.
That's not true.
No,
PS5.
If it wasn't, it's not. Listen, exactly what he's. If it didn't have problems, Sony wouldn't have taken it from the store. It's still not back in the store. It's been months. Did you see the list?
Well, they are connected.
Did you see the list? Did you see the list? It's not that big of a deal. They're
I think
minor
Max
bugs.
Payne's
Did you see the list?
Rockstars now.
okay,
So
yeah, those are all
that'll
minor
never
bugs
happen,
though. They're just like
unfortunately.
everything they fix in that list.
You said there weren't that many bugs. So which
No,
one is it?
I said there
guess.
are many
You're
bugs,
so
but they're minor
optimistic.
bugs. None of them.
Companies
are,
don't like
I didn't say
companies
any
need.
of them
What's in
are
it for
games. I
Rockstar
didn't
to
say
do
that.
that?
There aren't
Not
any.
much.
Okay to love the game. There's nothing wrong.
They're already popular.
No, I
It
just
does the
disagree with you when you said
second most popular game in the
it's
world.
the core.
Fundamentally,
It's not
in
broken
its
to. It's
core,
not. It's not.
broken. Yes,
It has.
Reality.
Speaking of verses,
It,
as you said, the Quantum Break verse or whatever, the Remedy verse.
Game runs perfectly well in my
He
phone.
does not like Godzilla versus Kong. I'm not gonna spoil the movie.
The game
But don't listen on-
clearly has issues. Their government
You guys have not seen Godzilla versus Kong
Yeah. Well, yes.
on HBO
Yeah,
Max.
they are
It's
lying
a
in
really
this
good
movie.
movie. It's a monster movie. It does not
Yeah,
need
they are
plot.
lying.
You just
they
need
are-
CGI
they are
and
lying and
battling
misleading their
all
community.
day. That's it.
Agreed.
Perfect.
Spoilers, bro.
Plot in a
Yeah.
monster movie. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Also, yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilerinos, please. Thank you. I plan on watching it sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely no spoilers. I haven't seen it, but kaiju movies are just that, kaiju movies. Giant monsters fighting. I don't give a shit about the humans. Take them out.
That's all it needs to be. That's all it needs to be.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we'll bid you adieu. It's been that's what I'm gonna say. It's been an interesting episode. Luca, apologies for all the technical issues, but I hope you
Oh,
had
no worries, man.
I hope you had a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you again, and I want you to give another shout out. Let everyone know where they can come find you because you've been great.
Yes, okay. So you can follow me on Twitter at TheAshenLuca. You can also follow my YouTube at the Ash and Luca. You can follow me on Xbox at the Ash and Luca. You can follow me on PlayStation 5 at Lucy Quinn. So, very cool. Like I said, I would love to have all of you on the show sometime. I think we could have a lot of fun. It's very different. It's a live show. So it's a lot of interaction with the chat, but it's a lot of fun. So
I'm definitely down for that at some point. That would be great. One question before I let everyone else promote where they are. Was the Ash and Luca taken on PlayStation or?
Okay, so this is what happened, right? Okay. So I had my PlayStation first, and I had a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 3, right? And this is so embarrassing. So I used to be a fan of Glee. Oh my god.
Okay, me too. Yeah, sure.
And one of the characters, her name is Lucy Quinn Fabre, and she was like one of my favorite characters. So Lucy Quinn comes from her. So
the Diane Agron played her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First season, good. I will maintain that. First season of Glee is good.
Yeah, I've actually been re-watching it a little bit. That show is like crazy. It's very, very offensive. A lot of the stuff that's in the show, just if it was airing now, it would be canceled so quickly. But I absolutely love it. I think it's very revolutionary in a lot of ways. The way it depicted LGBT Q characters. It was definitely something, especially in 2009, because I started watching. It came out when I was in high school, and that was 10 years ago. So I think it accomplished a lot. I know people hate on it now, but it did a lot right in the sense of like making it normal to see that kind of stuff. So I like it a lot. So yeah. Oh, and then the Ash and Luca, the Ashens is from Dark Souls 3. I'm a huge From Software fan, huge Souls fan. So.
Oh, so's Tom. And I guess Amon too. He likes Bloodborne now.
Yeah.
Kevin doesn't like hard games.
I don't like Souls games. They're too hard. I can't do it.
Completely understandable. They're not for everybody.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, go check her out. Good content, fun time, as you can see. Not afraid to give her opinion. Just go check her out for some laughs. Tom, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Chronicle Tom. That's it.
Amon, where can they find you? And you can find me on Twitter and Xbox at the Muffin Mon. That's a 1 instead of an I and an O instead of an A. And then on PlayStation, it's the Muffin Mon because the Muffin Mon was taken. I don't have a funny story like liking Glee. It's just that someone stole my username. But that's all for this week, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.